The great hall on Zentara was huge. A giant dome covered the top, and fake stars glowed softly above. Inside, beings from more than 1,000 worlds sat, or floated, or stood in their places. Some had tentacles that moved slowly. Some had hard scales that clicked when they shifted. Others looked like clouds of light, with no real body at all. The air smelled strange, because every species needed different air, but machines kept it safe for everyone. In the middle of the hall stood Kyle Bennett. He was the man Earth sent to speak for them. Kyle wore a plain gray uniform with the small Earth flag on the shoulder. He looked calm. His hands stayed at his sides. His face showed nothing special. Around him the aliens talked in low voices. Their translators made soft buzzing sounds as words changed from one language to another. A tall Vorath stepped forward to speak. The Vorath were old and proud. They had ruled many parts of the galaxy for thousands of years. This one had dark red skin and eyes like burning coals. When it talked, its voice came out deep and rough, even through the translator. Earth humans are dangerous, the Vorath said. They fight wars on their own planet. They use up resources too fast. They do not listen to the old ways. They grow strong too quickly. If we let them stay, they will bring chaos to every system. For the good of the galaxy, we must remove them. We vote today to expel Earth from the assembly. Many heads nodded. The insect creatures from Xandar waved their thin antennae up and down. The gas beings from Nebula swirled faster, which meant they agreed. A few smaller species looked worried, but they stayed quiet. No one wanted to anger the Vorath. The voting began. A big hologram appeared in the air above the hall. Numbers and colors showed who voted yes or no. One by one, the worlds made their choice. The screen filled with green marks for expulsion. Red marks for keeping Earth were very few. The count went higher and higher. Soon it was clear. More than 80% wanted Earth gone. The hall became very quiet. Everyone looked at Kyle Bennett. They expected him to shout, or to beg, or to look scared. That was what most species did when they lost power. But Kyle did not move at first. He simply stood there. Then the corner of his mouth turned up just a little. It was not a big smile. It was a small, knowing smirk, like someone who heard a joke no one else understood. The Vorath speaker tilted its head. "You have nothing to say, human?" Kyle looked straight at the tall red figure. His voice was clear and even. "The vote is done. I heard it." That was all he said. Then he turned. He walked toward the big doors at the far end of the hall. His steps were slow and steady. No rush, no anger. The aliens watched in silence. Some expected guards to stop him, but no one moved. The doors opened with a soft hiss. The doors closed behind him. Inside the hall, confusion spread fast. "What was that?" a small feathered delegate asked his neighbor. "He smiled," another answered. "Why did he smile?" The Vorath speaker raised one clawed hand. "It means nothing. They are finished, cut off from trade, cut off from our hyperspace paths, cut off from help. Earth will beg to come back in a few cycles." Many nodded again. They felt sure. Humans were young, humans were loud, humans needed the galaxy more than the galaxy needed humans. But far away, on a fast shuttle heading back to Sol System, Kyle Bennett sat alone in the small passenger cabin. He looked out the window at the stars sliding past. The smirk was still on his face, but now it grew a little bigger. He pressed a button on his wrist device. A voice answered right away. It was calm and female. "Did it go as planned?" Kyle leaned back in the seat. "Exactly as planned. 83%. They think we're broken." A short laugh came through the speaker. "Good. President Evans is waiting for your full report. The fleet admirals want to know when we start Phase 2. Kyle nodded, even though no one could see him. "Tell them we start now. No delays. No second thoughts. The galaxy just gave us the perfect excuse. He turned off the link and looked at the stars again. In his mind he saw Earth. Not the old crowded planet full of problems. He saw the new Earth. The one with cities that reached the clouds. The one with shipyards hidden in the asteroid belt. The one with engines that did not need alien fuel or alien maps. The one that had waited years for this day. Back on Zentara, the assembly continued. They talked about new rules. They talked about dividing Earth's old trade routes. They congratulated each other on making the galaxy safer. But deep inside, a few of the wiser ones felt something strange. A small, cold feeling. Like the moment before a storm. One old nebulon, a wise cloud of blue light, floated closer to its friends. It spoke in a low whisper that only they could hear. They walked away too easily, it said. No anger, no fear. That is not the human way we know. The others tried to laugh it off. They are weak. They will break soon. But the blue cloud stayed quiet. It remembered stories from long ago. Stories about small groups who left big empires. Stories about how those small groups came back stronger. Stories that ended with old powers gone and new ones in their place. Kyle's shuttle jumped to hyperspace. The stars stretched into bright lines. Inside the cabin, he closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them again, the smirk was still there. Earth was not broken. Earth was free, and the galaxy had no idea what came next. The shuttle carrying Kyle Bennett jumped out of hyperspace near the edge of the Sol system. Earth looked small and blue from far away, but to Kyle, it felt like home more than ever. He watched the planet grow bigger on the view screen. No fancy alien ships waited to greet him. Only human vessels moved around. Cargo haulers, science probes, and a few sleek fighters that looked simple but carried secrets. The shuttle docked at Orbital Station 1, a huge ring of metal and lights high above the clouds. Kyle stepped out into the bright corridor. A young officer in a crisp uniform saluted him. "Welcome back, Ambassador. The President wants you in the command center right away." Kyle nodded and walked fast. The station hummed with quiet energy. People moved with purpose. No one looked scared. No one looked lost. They looked ready. Down on Earth, in the heart of New York, the United Terran Federation headquarters stood tall. It was not a fancy palace. It was a strong building of glass and steel, built to last. Inside the main command room, screens covered every wall. Maps of the galaxy glowed in soft blue. Numbers scrolled across them. People sat at desks, talking in low voices, checking data, planning. President Laura Evans stood in the center. She was not tall, but she carried herself like someone who knew exactly what to do. Her dark hair was pulled back tight. Her eyes were sharp. She wore a simple black suit with the small Earth pin on the collar. When Kyle walked in, she turned and gave him a small smile. "Tell me everything," she said. Kyle stepped forward. "They voted us out. 83%. The Vorath led it. They called us reckless, dangerous, too fast-growing. They think we will collapse without their trade lanes and their rules." Laura crossed her arms. "And you?" I smirked, then I walked out. No words, no fight, just left. He stood near a big holotable that showed ship positions. Chris was older, with gray hair cut short and a face full of old scars from battles long ago. He looked tough, but his eyes were calm. "That's perfect," Chris said. "They expect us to panic, to send messages begging to come back. Instead, we go quiet. Let them wonder." Laura turned to the others in the room. There were scientists, engineers, admirals, and advisors. All of them had worked for years on one thing, the day the galaxy turned its back. "We knew this might happen," Laura said. "We planned for it. The Independence Initiative started 10 years ago. Every colony, every shipyard, every lab. We built what we needed, so we never have to ask anyone for help again. She pointed to the holotable. Chris touched a control. The map changed. It showed the Sol system, then the nearby stars, then farther out. Red dots marked human worlds. There were many more than the galaxy knew about. Our colonies on Alpha Centauri, Barnard Star, Proxima b, they are strong now, Chris explained. They grow their own food. They make their own air. They have factories that build ships faster than the Vorath can repair theirs. And the asteroid belt? It's our biggest secret. He zoomed in. Tiny lights blinked in the dark space between Mars and Jupiter. Hidden shipyards. Thousands of them. We moved the work there years ago. No one saw. The galaxy thought we were still begging for their old engines and their slow travel paths. A woman stepped forward. Her name was Megan Harris. She was the lead engineer for the new fleet. Megan had short brown hair and always wore a tool belt, even in meetings. She looked young, but her mind was sharp. The quantum drives are ready, Megan said. We tested them in secret. They fold space better than anything the assembly uses. No need for their stable lanes. We go where we want. Fast. Quiet. And the weapons. She smiled for the first time. Plasma shields that eat enemy fire and throw it back. Adaptive drones that learn in the middle of a fight. AI that does not follow old rules, it makes new ones every second. Laura nodded. Show them the numbers. Megan brought up a chart. It showed Earth's production. Food, metals, energy, ships built per month. The lines went up and up. No dips, no shortages. We stored enough supplies for 20 years of full isolation, she said. And that's if we do nothing new. But we are doing new things every day. Outside the building, in the streets of New York, people heard the news. Screens on every corner showed the vote. Expulsion, cut off, alone. But the crowds did not cry. They did not run. They cheered. In a small bar near the river, workers raised their glasses. To freedom, one man said. His friends laughed and drank. In a school, a teacher turned off the news and looked at her students. This is not the end, she told them. This is the start. Your parents built this world so you could choose your own path, not follow someone else's. In factories across the planet, machines ran faster. Engineers like Megan's teams added new parts to ships. Welders worked through the night. Scientists tested engines in hidden labs under the ocean. Back in the command center, Kyle spoke again. They will watch us. Probes, spies, maybe even small attacks to test us. We need to be ready. Chris grinned. We are. The first line of defense is already active. Stealth fields around the system. Anything that comes close without permission disappears. Quietly. Laura looked at everyone in the room. No revenge. Not yet. We wait, we build, we grow. When they realize we are not weak, when they see we are stronger without them, then we decide what comes next. She paused. But one thing is clear. The galaxy voted to push us away. We did not fight it. We smiled. And we walked our own way. The room stayed quiet for a moment. Then Chris raised his hand in a small salute. Others did the same. Not a big show, just respect. Outside, the sun set over the city. Lights came on. Ships rose from the surface to join the fleet above. Somewhere in the dark, the galaxy waited for Earth to fall. But Earth did not fall. Earth stood taller. And somewhere deep in the command center, Laura Evans allowed herself one small smirk. 6 months passed since the vote on Zentara. The galaxy watched Sol system from far away. They sent probes. They used long-range scanners. They waited for signs of trouble. Empty streets, broken ships, hungry people, begging messages sent to the assembly. That was what they expected. Nothing came. No messages, no cries for help, no ships trying to sneak through the old trade lanes. Just silence. Deep, complete silence. It made some aliens nervous. Others laughed and said humans were too proud to admit they were dying. But the silence grew louder every day. In the asteroid belt, far from prying eyes, the real work happened. Huge hidden bases floated among the rocks. Thick shields hid them from scans. Inside, lights burned bright. Machines hummed. People worked in shifts around the clock. The flagship was called Terra Nova. It was bigger than anything the Vorath ever built. Its hull was dark gray, smooth with no fancy decorations. But under the surface, it carried power. Admiral Alex Grant stood on the bridge. He was tall, with short black hair and steady blue eyes. Alex had spent 20 years in space. He knew how to fight. He knew how to wait. "Status report," Alex said. Megan Harris walked up. She carried a tablet. Her tool belt clinked softly. "All systems green. The Nexus engine passed the final test this morning. We opened a pocket dimension for 30 seconds. Loaded it with 2 full cargo holds of supplies. Closed it clean. No trace left." Alex nodded. "Good. Show me." Megan touched the main screen. A hologram appeared. It showed a small section of space near the ship. A circle of light formed. It grew bigger. Inside the circle, another space appeared, like a room with no walls. Crates floated there. Food packs, metal bars, fuel cells. Then the circle shrank and vanished. The crates were gone. Safe, hidden, ready to come back when needed. We don't need their stations or their depots anymore. We carry our own worlds with us. Food for years, parts for repairs, even spare air and water. If they try to starve us, they starve nothing. A young officer at the console spoke up. "Admiral, long-range sensors picked up movement. 3 Vorath scout ships. They're coming closer, probably testing our borders." Alex looked at the screen. Small red dots moved slow toward the edge of human space. "Let them come a little nearer. Then activate the outer field." The bridge crew worked fast. No panic, just calm steps. Far away, on one of the Vorath scout ships, the captain stared at his own screens. No defenses showing. No energy spikes. They really are empty. His second officer clicked his mandibles. "Maybe they collapsed already. Let's move in. Take samples. Prove to the assembly they are finished." The 3 ships pushed forward. They crossed the invisible line humans had drawn. Nothing happened at first. Then a soft hum filled their bridges. Lights flickered. Sensors went blind. "What is this?" the captain shouted. "Unknown interference," his officer said. "Shields dropping. Engines failing." On Terra Nova, Alex watched. Now. Megan pressed a button. From hidden points in the belt, small drones launched. They looked like insects. Fast. Silent. They swarmed the Vorath ships. Not to destroy. Not yet. Just to warn. The drones attached to the hulls. They sent pulses. The Vorath ships shook. Systems restarted one by one. But every screen now showed the same message in their own language. "This is human space. Turn back. Next time we do not send warnings." The scout ships turned fast. They ran back the way they came. Engines pushed to maximum. They did not stop until they were deep in Vorath territory. Word spread through the galaxy fast. The probes had not lied. And they were not weak. In the command center on Earth, President Laura Evans watched the same feed. Kyle Bennett stood next to her. General Chris Thompson sat at a desk, arms crossed. "They ran like scared children," Chris said with a small grin. Laura kept her face serious. "Good. But this was just scouts. The real test will come later. We need to be ready for fleets, for blockades, for everything." Kyle spoke. "I've been talking to some of the smaller species in secret, the ones the Vorath push around. They heard about the scouts. They are starting to ask questions. If humans can do that alone, what can they do with friends?" Laura turned to him. "Keep post talks quiet. We don't need allies yet. But keep the door open. When the time comes, We choose who joins us. Megan's voice came over the speaker from Terra Nova. Admiral Grant reports the Nexus engine is stable. We can open pockets large enough for a full battle group now. We tested weapons integration too. Drones can come out shooting. Shields can deploy from inside the pocket. It's like having an extra fleet no one can see. Laura allowed herself a small smile. Tell Alex to keep building. More ships, more engines, more drones. We don't attack first. Or when they come for us, they will find out why the galaxy was wrong to push us away. On Zentara, the assembly met again. Not a full vote this time. Just worried talks in small rooms. The Vorath speaker stood tall, but his voice shook a little. They hid their strength, he said. We thought they were primitives. Now scouts return with ghost stories, invisible walls, messages in our own words, ships that vanish and appear. A nebulan cloud swirled slowly. We should send a bigger force, show them we are still strong. Others agreed, but a few stayed quiet. They remembered the smirk on Kyle's face. They remembered how humans walked away without fear. In the asteroid belt, work continued. New ships slid out of hidden docks. They looked plain from outside, but inside, they were alive with human ideas. Engines that twisted space in new ways. Guns that learned from every shot. Armor that grew stronger under fire. Alex Grant walked the corridors of Terra Nova. Crew members nodded to him. Some smiled. They knew what was coming. Not war for revenge. Not destruction for fun. Just proof. Proof that humans did not need permission to exist. Proof that isolation made them stronger. Megan joined him near one of the engine rooms. The Nexus engine glowed soft blue behind thick glass. It looked alive. Ready for the next phase? She asked. Alex looked at the engine, then at the stars outside. Ready. Let them come. Let them test us. They voted to expel us. Now we show them what expulsion really means. Somewhere in the dark, a Vorath fleet began to gather. Bigger this time. More ships, more weapons. They thought numbers would win. But humans had something better. They had time. They had secrets. And they had the quiet smile that said, we were never the ones who needed saving. The galaxy waited. Earth prepared. And the stars held their breath. The Vorath did not wait long. They gathered a strong fleet near the border of human space. 20 heavy cruisers, 50 support ships, thousands of fighters. The ships were old but powerful. Their weapons could burn through rock. Their shields had held against stars going nova. The Vorath commander, a tall red warrior named Krell, stood on his flagship bridge. He looked at the dark, empty space ahead. Humans think they can hide, Krell said. We will show them the price of pride. Take the outpost in the Orion Arm. Burn it if they resist. Then the assembly will see we still rule. The fleet moved forward. Engines glowed bright red. They crossed into the area humans now called their own. No warning came at first. No ships rose to meet them. The Vorath laughed in their deep voices. They thought Earth had nothing left. Then the first human message arrived. It was short, clear, in the Vorath language. You are in sovereign human space. This is your only warning. Krell snarled. Ignore it. Full advance. The fleet pushed deeper. They reached the small human outpost. It was just a mining station on a rocky moon. Lights glowed from a few domes. No big guns. No walls. It looked weak. Krell ordered the attack. Energy beams shot out. They hit the domes. Shields flickered blue for a second, then held. The beams bounced off like rain on glass. The Vorath ships fired again, harder. The shields glowed brighter. Still no break. From the shadows behind the moon, human ships appeared. Not many. 10 at first. They looked small next to the Vorath giants, But they moved fast, too fast. They twisted and turned in ways no Vorath pilot could follow. General Chris Thompson led them from his command ship, the Liberty Dawn. He sat in the chair, with calm eyes. His voice stayed even. Adaptive Pattern Delta. Let them taste the new shields. The human ships danced. Vorath beams hit them. The hulls drank the energy, then sent it back, stronger. One Vorath cruiser took its own fire in the side. Metal tore open. Air vented into space. The ship spun away, damaged. Krell shouted orders. Swarm them. Overwhelm. Vorath fighters poured out like angry insects. They rushed the human line. But Megan Harris had prepared for this. From hidden points in nearby space, small doors opened. Not big doors. Tiny circles of light. Pocket dimensions. Thousands of drones flew out. They looked like silver needles. Each one carried a tiny gun and a smart brain. The drones swarmed. They moved as one. When a Vorath fighter shot at one, the drone learned. It dodged better next time. It shot back with exact aim. Vorath pilots screamed as their screens filled with warnings. Engines failed. Weapons jammed. One by one, fighters exploded in quiet flashes. On Earth, President Laura Evans watched the battle on big screens. Kyle Bennett stood beside her. They just watched. It's working, Kyle said. The Nexus engine gives us surprise every time. Laura nodded. Chris, status. Chris's voice came through. We lost 2 drones. They lost 12 fighters and 1 cruiser crippled. They're confused. Their old tactics don't work here. Krell's bridge shook. Alarms screamed. His second officer ran up. Commander, the humans are not fighting fair. Their ships adapt. Our weapons hit once, then miss forever. And those drones, they come from nowhere. Krell slammed his fist on the arm of his chair. Full barrage. Target their command ship. The Vorath fleet fired everything. Beams, missiles, gravity waves. The storm of death rushed toward Liberty Dawn. Chris smiled small. Now. A huge pocket opened behind his ship. Not small this time. Big enough for a battle group. More human ships poured out. Fresh, full power. They had waited inside the hidden space. Safe. Ready. The new ships joined the fight. Their guns spoke in perfect timing. Vorath shields cracked. Hulls split. Engines died. The fleet that came to punish now broke apart. Krell watched his ships fall, one cruiser after another. His own ship shook hard. Red lights flashed everywhere. Retreat, he finally shouted. All ships retreat. The survivors turned. They ran. Engines burned hot. They left wreckage behind. The human ships did not chase. They just watched, silent, strong. News traveled fast through the galaxy. Every species heard. The Vorath fleet, strong and proud, had attacked a small outpost, and lost, badly. Whispers started in dark corners, in bars on distant worlds, in secret meetings. The humans did not beg, one trader said. They waited. Then they crushed them. A small bird-like species from the Outer Rim listened. They had suffered under Vorath taxes for years. If humans can do that alone, their leader said, maybe they can help us. Carl Bennett received messages, coded, quiet, from worlds tired of old rules. He answered carefully, we do not seek war, but we offer friends equal ground. No masters, no servants, tech to share, protection if needed. Some said yes. Small fleets met human ships in neutral space. They saw the new engines, the pocket worlds, the adaptive guns. Their eyes grew wide. On Centaura, the assembly hall filled with noise. Delegates shouted. The Vorath speaker tried to speak. His voice cracked. We underestimated them, he said. But we can still. A nebulan cloud cut him off. You sent a fleet. It came back broken. Now what? Do we send more? Lose more? Others joined in. Anger turned to fear. Some worlds talked of leaving the assembly, some talked of talking to humans. Back in the Sol system, Laura Evans stood on a balcony high above New York. Night had fallen. Stars shone bright. She looked out at them. Chris joined her. The Vorath are pulling back. Their allies are quiet. We won the first real fight. Laura turned to him. Not a win yet. Just a message. They know now. We are not weak. We are not gone. We are here. And we choose our path. In the asteroid belt, Megan Harris walked through a new ship under construction. Workers cheered as the hull closed. The name on the side read, Freedom's Edge. Megan touched the metal. It felt warm. Alive. They voted to expel us, she said to no one. We walked away. And now they run from us. Somewhere in the stars, a Vorath scout ship limped home. Its captain sent one last report. Do not attack humans again. They do not fight like us. They fight like they were born for it. The galaxy listened. And slowly, the balance began to shift. Not with loud words, not with big threats, but with quiet strength, and the small smirk that never left human faces. The battle in the Orion Arm changed everything. The Vorath fleet that came to punish humans returned in pieces. News spread like fire through dry grass. Every world heard the story. Big fleets talked about it in secret rooms. Small traders whispered it in space stations. Even children on far planets learned the name human with new respect. On Zentara, the assembly hall felt different. The air was thick with worry. Delegates sat in their places, but no one looked proud. The Vorath speaker stood alone at the center platform. His red skin looked duller now. His voice shook when he spoke. We must act together, he said. The humans grow bold. They take our ships. They break our rules. We need a bigger force. All races must join. But the hall stayed quiet. No one cheered. A small delegate from a green world stood up. His voice was soft but clear. Your bigger force lost. Our scouts saw the wreckage. Humans did not chase. They did not destroy everything. They just defended. And they won. Murmurs grew. A nebulan cloud floated forward. Its light pulsed slow and angry. You pushed them out. You said they were weak. Now look. Their ships come from nowhere. Their weapons learn. Their people do not fear death. We made a mistake. More voices joined. Some shouted. Some begged for peace. The old power cracked. Worlds that followed the Vorath for years now looked away. They remembered old hurts, taxes, forced rules, lost homes. Now they saw another way. In hidden meetings, human envoys met these worlds. Kyle Bennett traveled quiet. He used small ships. No flags. No big shows. He sat with leaders in dark rooms or on neutral moons. We do not want your land, Kyle told them. We do not want to rule you. We offer trade, real trade, equal. We share our engines, our shields, our way to make pocket spaces. In return, you stand with us, not under us, beside us. One leader, a tall insect from a poor system, clicked his mandibles. The Vorath will punish us if we join you. Kyle smiled small. They tried to punish us. Look what happened. The insect leader fought long. Then he nodded. We join. More followed. Not all, but enough. Small fleets met human ships in open space. They saw the Nexus engines work. They saw drones swarm and learn. They saw human crews fight smart, not hard. Hope grew. On Earth, President Laura Evans watched from her office. Screens showed new allies. Green dots on the map, growing every day. General Chris Thompson stood beside her. We have 20 new partners, more coming. They bring resources, ships, knowledge. Laura looked out the window at the city lights. Good, but we do not force anyone. If they want freedom, they get it. If they want to stay with the old ways, we leave them alone. In the asteroid belt, Admiral Alex Grant walked the deck of Terra Nova. The ship was stronger now. New sections added, bigger engines, more pocket bays. Megan Harris worked nearby. She tested a new shield generator. It hummed soft. These allies need time, Megan said. They are scared, but they are learning fast. Alex nodded. We give them time. We protect the weak spots. We train their crews. Soon they fight like us. The galaxy shifted, slow at first, then faster. Vorath worlds saw riots. People marched in streets. They demanded change. Old leaders fell. New ones rose. Some asked humans for help. Quiet help. Food drops from pocket dimensions. Medical supplies. Weapons to defend, not attack. Laura made one big broadcast. It went to every system. No fancy effects. Just her face. Calm. Strong. Earth was expelled. We accepted it. We walked away. We built our own path. Now, we see many suffer under old rules. To those who want change, we offer hands, not chains. We share what we have. We ask nothing but respect. To those who still threaten us or our friends, hear this. We do not start wars, but we finish them. The words hit hard. Some worlds cheered. Others stayed silent. But fear spread in the old centers of power. Months later, the assembly met again. The hall looked half empty. Many seats stayed vacant. The Vorath speaker tried to call order, but a human figure walked in. Kyle Bennett. Alone. No guards. No weapons. Just the same gray uniform. The hall went quiet. Kyle stood at the center. He looked around slow. You voted to expel us, he said. We left. Now you ask us to come back. You want our engines, our shields, our help. But things are different now. He paused. Earth does not join clubs that kick out members. We do not bow to old rules. If you want peace, make new rules. No one above, no one below. Until then, we stay outside, with our friends, on our terms. He turned. He walked out. Doors closed behind him. No one stopped him. The galaxy watched him go. Some felt anger. Most felt something new. Respect, or fear, or both. Years passed. Human space grew. Not by force, by choice. New worlds joined. Old enemies became quiet neighbors. The Vorath collective broke apart. Some parts joined humans. Others faded away. On Terra Nova, Alex Grant looked at the stars. Megan stood next to him. They watched a new allied ship dock. Lights flashed welcome. We started alone, Alex said. Megan smiled. And we ended stronger. On Earth, Laura Evans walked through a park. Children played. Trees grew tall. The sky was clear. A small girl ran up. Are we still alone? The girl asked. Laura knelt. She touched the girl's shoulder. We just chose our own friends. The girl smiled big. Laura stood. She looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, the galaxy had learned. Never vote to expel humans. Because when they walk away, they do not come back small. They come back as something new. Something unstoppable. And the stars belong to those who dare to take them.